it was like basically 5 games in, and Darren Dreger was like, "Here, I'm going to drop a Matthew Knies bomb, bang," and he said, "Yeah, they're not even going to negotiate until the end of the season." And but it's better be a bridge deal because the kind of money that would take him for a long-term deal the Leafs can't afford, right? So it was sort of like
maybe they can.
And well, so now with Marner gone, I wonder if they can. And I wondered about this. So let's just have the Matt Knies conversation. Yeah, this is a player who had a breakout year, and he shows up in the playoffs. This is a player with some injury concerns. I think that's fair.
Yeah, but he hasn't missed like significant time.
No.
He's missed time.
No.
But not significant.
58 points in 78 games. I think he had 29 goals, not 30. So
he's right there.
I think he's a 30-goal scorer. Maybe one day he's a point-a-game player. I don't know. What is the comfort level on an 8-year contract for this guy?
Perfectly comfortable with him getting, I don't know, 8 times 7 would be, I think, incredible. But I think with him, I'm leaning bridge.
So you want like a 3 to a 5 year?
Yeah. Or like even 4. But because, again, Marner's out of the picture. Tavares, even if you bring him back, will be old. Like by the time, for me, everything comes down to when Matthews' contract ends. Yeah, Willie is going to be a Leaf beyond that. Fine.
But you're going to need to build around, if Matthews leaves, you're still going to need people to build around. And I feel like a cost-effective Matthew Knies and a cost-effective William Nylander is not bad. That's not a bad...
I don't know about cost-effective. Fixed cost.
You don't think William Nylander's cost-effective? He's the second...
11.5.
Second leading goal scorer in the entire NHL this year?
That's what 11.5 is for. Okay, now do it again.
I would call that cost-effective.
Now do it again. You got to do that every year for 11.5. We have a skewed view of
Steve,
who should be making this money.
So what is not cost effective about 11.5 and being second in goals?
I've only seen it once. I want to see it again. No,
okay,
let's raise the standard for these guys.
After 1 year.
Yeah.
What's not cost effective about year one?
Because it's 11.5. What a friggin' bargain. Like,
no, I'm not talking about a bargain.
You're saying cost effective.
Cost effective, which is getting your value back. Cost effective. That's the definition.
Oh, getting your value back. I would say above value, right? That's what I would say for
that's
cost
a bargain.
Effective.
No, you're looking for a bargain.
Oh, okay. Well,
and you're not going to get a bargain on William Nylander on his 3rd contract.
So they've been getting less than cost effective out of these guys.
Agreed. Especially in the playoffs.
So cost effective is you're making your money back or you're getting your value. And then getting better than your value is a bargain.
Yes.
All right, fine. So, yeah, cost-effective for William Nylander.
I don't hate a single dollar they spent on William Nylander this year.
Fine. Listen, I'm sour right
now. You're sour about the Leafs generally.
Yeah.
Fair.
I don't know. Where were all of you? Like, it's very rare at the end of a playoff run, you're able to look at all of them and be like, actually, all of you were bad.
Yeah.
Like, at the end, when it came down, like, the final 4 games, Tavares was bad. Nylander was bad. Matthews had the one good game and was bad. Same with Marner. I'm just grumpy about all of them. Because Nylander's locked up, if you lock up Knies long-term, now you're guaranteed at least Nylander Knies to build around.
For the next 6 or 7 years.
But I look at Matthews, who we keep saying is the best goal scorer in the world, right? One of the best players in the world. Like, do you build a Knies bridge around the idea that, hey, Matthews could leave at the end of this, and then you maximize your dollars to surround Matthews and Knies and Nylander with the most talent possible, right? That you could free up another 3-4 million.
Okay, so you're thinking that a Knies bridge deal would be $4 million over 3 years?
Well, that's what we keep seeing.
Is that, you think?
Drew, who
did he? Dawson Mercer.
Who did he? Yeah, and they have somewhat comparable numbers.
Different
if you
player.
were able to get, different player, but if you were able to get that done, that could be all right. Realistically, I want Knies to be a Leaf his whole career. So if you lock him up until he's 30, that's a good outcome to me.
And the cap, reminder, it's exploding. It's exploding.
I'd be okay with just about any Knies contract. I irrationally love this player. I have enough introspection to know I overvalue this player.
Right. You just don't want to overpay him.
I don't want to overpay him.
Get money out.
I hope he signs 8 years league minimum. I am not There's a hard cap. I'm not cheering for you to make the most money. I'm not.
Jesse.
And everyone who does is weird. I think you're weird. If you want,
you're not cheering for people to make money off of billionaires, then I think that's weird.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think that's weird.
Well, there's a salary cap.
I think that's weird.
Nope.
I think you got to cheer for him to make
Why
a
are you
little.
cheering against the Leafs? You're cheering against the Leafs.
Stop. Someone's gotta make
Billionaires,
that money.
millionaire. There is no little guy here. I wish everyone would stop.
Okay. Jesse.
I despise the idea of a Matthew Knies bridge deal at this moment because I look consistently throughout the league and the guys who have this potential where it's like we can see this guy as a first line player for his entire career. He already is right now in the structure of this team, and he's only getting better from here. The way you get this crazy amount of value on these guys is you lock them up long term early.
Yeah.
You look at how Nathan McKinnon's first deal went out when he signed that long-term one. You're like, oh my God, Nathan McKinnon's still making that kind of money. Draisaitl's deal when he locked him up, and it was like, oh my gosh, Draisaitl's making that type of money. Even the Cale Makar contract right now is absolutely absurd. Just down the list, and then you go on the other side where you see guys who sign these bridge deals like Subban doing his, and the Canadians have
They
to
got
eat
killed.
it. They have to eat it.
He made less than
later.
3.
And then 2 years later,
crazy.
1 year later.
There's 2.
2 years later, he wins the Norris, and they just got to go pay him all the money in the world. Matthew Knies is going to be that same situation. We have enough evidence here where we know Matthew Knies is going to be good. The only time in his entire career where you're going to get value on Matthew Knies is now. Because at the next deal, you're not going to get any value. He's going to be in the prime of his life, in the prime of his career. He's going to be a pending UFA. He's going to want all the money in the world, and there's not going to be any type of value there. I think for the sake of your franchise and having this guy on the team, you need to maximize the value you can. Give him the 8 years, give him the 7 years, whatever it has to be, and just lock him up now. That salary cap that's going up,
It's going to keep going up.
$8 million now isn't $8 million in 5 years.
No, we could have a cap in the 130 range in 5 years.
We're in 2025 right now. The Matthew Knies $8 million in 2032 is going to be like a mid guy in your lineup card,
like a third line
level.
guy.
You mean like a second liner? You know, and he's going to be playing on that first line for the next decade. You might as well give him the money now and get value back at the entire half of that contract.
Jesse, solid logic. I'm on board. I hope he's locked up long term. Adam, 8 years, 15 million. What do you say?
I'm not doing that.
Bootlicker, capitalist pig. Why are you cheering for the billionaires?
I'm looking at this like, if it's 8 times 7, 8 times 7.5, maybe I feel okay about it. I do.
Why not 9?
Well, because I don't think he's worth 9.
Why not 10?
Because he's not worth it. I'm asking him to
Bootlicker.
get paid back. Not a
Bootlicker. You're capital. Why are you cheering for the billionaires?
I do want to
Don't get
say,
it.
I think one thing that Matthew Knies, one thing the Leafs can become this year.
I hope Steven Lorentz makes $5 million.
One thing the Leafs can become this year is likable to the majority of their fans again. And
Man.
I hate to put it this way, Down Goes Brown fucking nailed it in one of his latest
He's so good at the
podcasts.
pulse.
He was like,
Yeah.
these guys have not been likable for years, and they come across as petulant. And you know who doesn't? Matthew Knies. Matthew Knies, to me, and I said it in the interview, that last interview, whatever, the locker cleanout interview, that guy feels like future captain to me.
I just
Like, this city's going to die for this.
Yeah, I think you're making a mistake by giving them 4 years. You're asking yourself for trouble.
Yeah.
Once that next contract
And
comes
who
around,
cares what Matthews does?
like it feels like, hey, you got the opportunity to sign Mitch for 8 times 8 again.
Yeah.
You know, and like
Man.
I don't want them to get to this point where we're in contentious negotiations with all these guys because we see how this plays out time and time again. The William Nylander deal, like, it played out in the worst possible way to get it done in that first year. We went over it last episode, how much of a waste of a season that was. But 6.9 looked like the craziest overpay at the time.
It
At
did.
the
It
time.
was crazy.
Complained about that deal for the first 2 years. He was the guy you can trade because the contract was like, oh my God, you can get rid of this contract. And
well, you couldn't trade it because it was too much.
And then now we're like, through all those years, he made 6.9.
Yeah.
Underpay. Like,
Yeah.
So I don't know. With Matthew Knies, I think you lock him up now, and you get to that point where it's like, okay, first 2 years, it's like, oh, he's making all that money, but in the last 6, it could look like a crazy deal.
I have changed my mind. You're right. Long term is the better play. what I would say, that's a good thing about.
That's why we have these discussions. That's why we have them.
I don't know. I always hate that on the clips. Like, Steve's a fucking idiot. No, I was an idiot 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, but then I was convinced.
I'm right now.
Yeah.
Surround yourself with friends. It's great because when you're wrong, then you become right.